Anthony B and Jack Q right there. Try the best to ever do it.
You know what this got me thinking, and I know this is going to sound weird, brothers, but it just ran a question through my mind. What were to happen if Jim Morrison would have actually survived to meet some of these reggae artists? I mean, the beat and everything, I know it's two different flavors of music, but the beat in both of those styles of music, they're good.
Even like people like Jimi Hendrix and a lot of different other artists, I think they would have grew with the time. You know what I'm saying? And just kept dropping those bombs like they was dropping them then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see like what Snoop Dogg embraced the time.
And Snoop Dogg did his own rendition of Riders on the Storm. I think I've sent it to you before. And, you know, if Jim Morrison wouldn't have OD'd himself and were alive today, I think he would be cranking out some killer, kick-ass songs, and he would probably piss off the Republican Party with it.
And just to let the people know, Jim Morrison is the lead singer of the band The Doors.
The Doors, right?
Yeah, big time. I'm a big time Doors fan, man. I was totally a part of that era in the late 80s and the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Ed, you're definitely right. Moving along, let's get to this. I just wanted to put this out there, like for a lot of people that's not following. You know, today is an update show. Zimmerman's wife was charged with perjury on Wednesday and given 6 months probation and 100 hours of community service. In the court of law, perjury holds up to a year and more if you're found guilty. I don't know too much about the state laws over there in Florida to be really, you know, to basically, you know, to compare them. But the rapper Lil' Kim was convicted of perjury.
City councils
and given, she spent a year in prison for perjury. Why is it that Zimmerman's wife gets away without having to do a day or two in jail for the same crime?
We know why.
Regardless of what the measures of her lies were, because perjury is basically lying to the court. So you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to touch on that one. You know what I'm saying? I like to put people in that space right there, just to think about those things. Just think about how much the cards are when they're dealt out to everybody. Moving along.
Exactly. Yeah. With that said, I want to launch right into mayoral candidate Christine Quinn speaking about stop and frisk and what her unprecedented move is all about. First, let me get some volume over there real quick. I'm gonna see if I can attempt to play this audio for the masses.
So Speaker Christine Quinn making her position clear
that there should be no stay granted.
Planning on Tuesday to file a legal declaration with the federal court, hoping to block Mayor Bloomberg's effort to put on hold a judge's recommended reforms to stop and frisk, including a federal monitor.
We're going to do every legal thing we possibly can to make sure the city is not granted a stay and that the city begins immediately implementing the recommendations of the court.
Quinn says filing what she calls an unprecedented legal action a week before the primary election has nothing to do with earning votes, but rather falls in line with the timing of the courts. At City Hall, Jim Smith, WCBS 880 News. Yeah. City Council.
Exactly.
Heavy,
wow.
Heavy, very heavy. Right while we at that doorstep right there, let's talk about some of the mayors that's running, some of the candidates that's running to be the mayor. They have a couple of candidates that's out here running with falsified information and commercials and all that. We know how it go. When the president is running, they have all of these commercials going at the poser team, and you know they try to make everybody out to be the worst person for the job. As a person from the city right now, I'm not gonna be bamboozled by they tales to say what they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do.
It happens all the damn time.
all the time.
Okay, this is what's going on, why Quinn made such a comment. The city council voted last month to override Bloomberg's vetoes of a racial profiling measure and a bill to appoint an independent monitor to oversee the department. Following the override, Bloomberg called the council's actions an example of election year politics at its worst and politic pondering at its most deadly. Recent polls show that New York City public advocate Bill de Blasio, in the lead right now, has been a vocal critic of the current use of stop and frisk.
Let's talk about...
A council found that an independent monitor must oversee the New York City Police Department. That's strong. That came from voters.
Right.
People are fed up. Minorities, and it's not just minorities. There's the white. There's a lot of white people over here that feel.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Stop and frisk is wrong, and it's a violation of citizens' rights in the city of New York City.
That was one of the reasons we revolted against England, because the British soldiers were grabbing us, searching us. They would go into our homes for whatever reason they felt fit, just to search our homes. These were some of the things we fought against. And with the stop and frisk out there in New York City, they are doing the same things that caused us to revolt against England in the first place.
Okay, my question is now, crime is going down. Crime is on they claim across the city in New York, crime has went down. Crime has went down. So now they're saying that if they stop and frisk measure, but over the past few months, crime keep going down, while they just reported that New York City Police Department has decreased the amount of stop and frisk. Last year, over 100,000 people were stopped and frisked. That number has cut to 50,000 this year. You're talking about a drastic cut, and crime still is going down. So you're trying to tell me? So what do you have now? Even if you change the stop and frisk measures, crime continue to go down, what's the need to keep attacking and targeting just those people that live in those communities? And also, we also have to have this thing is a double-headed snake, because the community also wants to be safe from people that might be possessing things out there to harm other people, right? So I heard a lot of complaints, but I haven't heard a lot of solutions. Is it right to do away with stop and frisk completely?
Yeah.
Give us a call right now in the studio, 646-736-7479. If you're listening to the radio program right now, just give us a call. Let's hear your opinion on it. But, we're going to keep elaborating on the facts here. The facts are that crime go down even with their drastic drop in stop and frisk measures right now. Crime continue to go down. So how do we explain that?
Listen, I don't want to take anything away from the stop and frisk thing. You know what I'm saying? I think if it was done on a worldly basis and they weren't targeting certain people, then it would be okay. But right now, when you're only targeting a certain group of people and you're only enforcing it in certain residents and communities, I feel that to be a problem. We spoke about this yesterday. I spoke about the phone call that I know people who work for 911 dispatchers, and they have a questionnaire that they read to anybody who called under certain circumstances. And we touched on that last time, and I want people to understand that the way they label and they title and they do everything, the media is a big host to a lot of the things that goes on. In the community, they stop and frisk and really don't have no real probable cause behind it. Yeah, they finding some people to have done wrong in the past, and then, stop and frisk. Oh, why not? You got a gun, now you go to jail.
There is no excuse for the police to be making an attempt to strip citizens of civil liberties. That is the real motive behind stop and frisk, my friends.
Check this out. Everybody's complaining and crying about stop and frisk. ask the brothers that's out here on the street doing wrong, how they being treated. Because it ain't just out in Frisk. They're being strip searched in the street. Not necessarily on the sidewalk, but they're taken into the back of buildings, in basements, in the lobby, things of this nature. They cut the lobby thing out because now Big Brother is in pretty much every lobby.
Right.
There's still something wrong with that.
I mean, it's totally wrong. I don't care what you're doing wrong. No, nobody has the right to strip search you in the street and then take out latex gloves talking about, I'm going to search the places where you think that I can't search. Yeah,
and I've even heard of
game out here.
Yes, and I've even heard of female cops searching males.
Which are they not supposed to?
They're not supposed to.
And males are not supposed to check females. It's done all the time.
But it's still being done. I mean, when you talk about the community, man, people out here know, when you talk about the community, the things that is supposed to be, it's not even considered when it comes to black and brown people. Those laws, just like we had the brother over there, his name was Edward last night, he was mentioning a lot of stuff. Let's take this call here. Call you live on Party FM, Pressure Point Radio. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Greetings. Who are we speaking with?
This is Dawn.
Hello, Dawn. How are you? Welcome to Pressure Point Radio.
Yeah.
So, do you have something to say about what we're talking about now, considering stop and frisk in New York City?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let them have it.
Yeah, I do. Because in Colorado Springs, we do have crime like you would not believe.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So let's not take away from Colorado. Colorado actually has one of the most infamous neighborhoods in the United States. By the way, a lot of people don't know that. They try to label a lot of big cities like New York and LA, but there's places like Little Rock, Arkansas, and places over there. It's a spot over there in Colorado where it's like very dangerous. Denver, Colorado they have their share of trouble, but it's not. It's turned somewhere over there in Denver. It's definitely turned up with a lot of gang violence and stuff of that.
No, I think it's worse in Colorado Springs than it is in Denver because I have family that lives in Denver.
Oh, well,
Seriously.
do tell why you think that.
Because I have family, because I hear it every single night, because I hear ambulances every single night goes past my house. I can hear it.
So what about gunshots and stuff like that? Do you hear any of that?
I hear that too. And I hear it all the time.
So
I hear it on the news every single morning.
Don, what we're talking about here is the initiative for everybody that's running for mayor in New York right now is jumping on the issue of stop and frisk. Where in New York, minorities are targeted for unprecedented amount of stops. And the law states that only time a police is supposed to search a person is if that person proves to be a threat of some sort or in the action to commit a crime or have reasonable
probable cause.
Yeah.
Probable cause to say to search that person. But what has been going on is that a black person or a Puerto Rican person can be walking down the block and just fit that description of what they claim to be a perp, and that person would be searched. And they're trying. There's a lot of candidates out here right now that's running on the back of that bill. But would they change it once they get into office? That's another story. But that is what's been going on for several years in New York, and that led to countless amount of unlawful arrests and incarceration because of that in the communities over here. Can you relate to that? And can you paint a picture to if you are for it or against the stop and frisk? Do you think it should be abolished? And the law takes place, which is said only on probable cause, or if you suspect a person is on the way to commit a crime. What do you feel about that?
I am against it.
Oh, you're against it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, I mean,